One championship this past weekend. One fight night 10. Johnson versus Moraes 3. Went down at the Broomfield. At Broomfield, Colorado, First Bank Center. It was one championship's first ever event hosted in the United States. Broadcast live on Amazon Prime Video. Here we go. Let's talk about who we can talk about first. Let's talk about the main event. Demetrious Johnson defeats Adriano Moraes by unanimous decision. Omar, why don't you kick us off this time? Give us your take and your assessment of DJ getting it done, winning 2 out of 3, winning the rubber match over Moraes.
So, really good fight, really high-level fight, very competitive fight. I definitely had DJ winning by the end of that fight, but I think it was one of those things that because of the way the first 2 fights went, this one almost felt underwhelming out of the 3. We had such dynamic fights and such dynamic finishes in the first 2 that I feel like this one almost left us wanting a finish so much more, that when we didn't get it, or at least for me, when I didn't get it, I felt like I still wanted something. But it was a good fight, man. It was a very competitive fight. You can see both of them at this point have spent so much time inside of that cage together that, you know, they can read each other a little bit better than the last couple times. And they spend a lot of time in the clinch. They spend a lot of time smothering each other and not really allowing themselves to really get any distance to fire off. And I think some of that was still Moraes trying to adjust to the movement of DJ. But Herb Dean did a lot of work breaking them up and trying to get the action going. But yeah, I thought it was a good fight for DJ. But again, just one of the more underwhelming, I think, of the trilogy.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, it was a weird fight in some ways, but at the same time, DJ's the man, and he just continues to show how good he is, even at this point. They both came out a bit tentative in round 1. It was definitely a feeling out process for both guys. DJ didn't even want to throw hands at all early. You could tell he was really conscious about staying out of range and just working with kicks to start as he felt it out. And then we got a lot of clinching from Moraes, which unfortunately ended up being kind of the theme of the fight from him. More clinching in round 2. And honestly, by the end of round 2, you could kind of tell that Moraes' gas tank was not where it was at the start of the fight already. And DJ was fresh as a daisy, as he always is. And I think he could sense it, because from there, at the start of round 3, is when it kind of turned. DJ started walking him down again like he did in the second fight. He's so good at being all the way in or all the way out. It's unbelievable. I mean, even the whole fight, you barely saw a punch from DJ. It was all kicks outside or elbows and knees inside. There was no hanging out in boxing range because he did everything he could to nullify that reach advantage, which is so smart from him. And Moraes just kind of came in with a boring-ass game plan, if we're being honest. I don't know what he thought he saw, but I didn't see that coming. Just all the clinching, kind of inactivity in the clinch. And DJ's so good in the clinch anyway. I mean, he must have landed 100 fucking knees to the body in that fight, in the clinch. Yeah. So I'm not sure what Moraes thought he was going to do there, but yeah, I thought DJ definitely won. He did more. He had a more significant work rate. He had the more significant shots, more memorable moments. You know, it was no dominant thing, but at the same time, it kind of was all DJ. So nice win for him, and now we wait and see. Was that the last time? He left the door open at the end, so I guess we're going to find out. But if it was, nice way for him to go out to close out that trilogy after the man KO'd him and shocked the world to beat him twice after that.
Crazy. Do you think there's a point of matching DJ up or no?
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, they brought the dude into the cage if he's going to fight.
Don't even know his name. And I think that's why DJ might not really do it.
Kairat Akhmatov, is that his name?
I have no idea.
But yeah, I wish there was a way for him to be like, I'll fight again, but like, let me fight Brandon Moreno. Like, I wish we could see something like that. Him continuing to fight kind of lesser known dudes doesn't seem quite as fun, but we'll see what he chooses to do.
Oh, I would love for him to fight Moreno now. Let's move on down the line here. We're skipping over the co-main event and co-main event that were Muay Thai.
We can touch on them after we do the MMA for sure.
Yeah, and Jiu-Jitsu respectively. But in the women's atomweight division, my girl, Stam Fairtex, gets it done over Alyse Anderson by knockout via body kick, 227 around number 2. Mark, start us off.
Alyse Anderson was taking a friggin' beating, man, all fight long. She kept walking forward, to her credit, but sheesh.
That's Muay Thai, man. That's Muay Thai.
Stamp looked great. She was landing all fight. She mixed in the grappling. She even defended when she got taken down, and she ended up on top. And then that fucking body kick finish, man. I mean, she softened her up with knees to the body in the clinch, and then she just hit her with the kill shot. So, nasty finish. It seems like she is going to fight for an interim title now with Angela Lee out for a bit, taking some time off after, what her family's going through. So it sounds like they're going to be throwing an interim belt out there, and that Stam's going to be fighting for it. So, big win for her.
Omar, what were your key takeaways over the beautiful and brutal Muay Thai technique on display from Stam Fairtex?
That Stam Fairtex in the clinch is, number one, not something you want to play around with. But two, she can land a liver shot with the wrong goddamn leg. That was my main takeaway. Liver shots are generally on... Right, your liver is over here. It is on your right side. I don't know how
so
this
a left
video is
kick
coming out.
would hit the liver.
Basically, right? Whether it's a power shot, that's why southpaws, a lot of the time you see a lot of southpaws getting liver shots because that's the power side. You've got guys like Edson that throws his goddamn switch kick like it is his power kick, and you've got a liver shot right there. Stamp throws her right body kick and lands it like right on the floating rib just above the liver. And God only knows that rib probably went right into the liver and shut that girl down. The fact that she's able to do that from the wrong side and place it so perfectly right at the edge too with her toes. I mean, you don't really want to learn to kick with your toes, but if you're going to kick with your toes, you do it in the middle where it's squishy. And that's exactly what she did. It's beautiful. I love watching that girl fight. I love it.
If that was my floating rib, it would have liquidized.
The floating rib is the worst place to get hit, man. It's also the easiest rib to break.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. In the where are we here? In the welterweight division, Zebastian Kadestam, round 2 knockout over Roberto Soldic. Disappointing one. I think we all took Soldic.
Yeah.
I
Omar,
think
why
the
don't you
whole
go first?
world took Soldic. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
Kadestam took Kadestam.
Omar, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, what do you say, dude? I mean, this was crazy. This was huge. This was unexpected. I mean, Soldic was like, when you talk about somebody who's a big prospect, a big name, a big signing, like Soldic is one of those guys. Is at this point that guy right now, right? Like, and for this man to just come in and be like, "Fuck your plans," and just knock this man out in the second round. And then, let's be honest, made the best use of the microphone that it seems like his language barrier will allow. And I fucking loved it. I loved every minute of it. And I think no one knew who the fuck Kadestam was going into that fight. And they may not remember his first name, but they'll remember him the next time that they see him as the guy. That's the guy that beat Soldic.
Yep.
That's, for right now, that's how he's going to be remembered. So he needs to strike while the iron's hot because that was a hell of a performance.
Mark?
Yeah, I mean, first round, Roberto Soldic comes out, and he has Kadestam under siege. Like, he is marching him down. He's hunting him. His hands were so fast. He's landing with power. Kadestam can't do anything pretty much besides circle away and just try to keep his hands up. The round ends. He's limping. His face is leaking. And you're like, man, Roberto Soldic is so fucking good. He's everything we thought he is. And then fucking Kadestam wins. Like, he clips Soldic with this beautiful short elbow. Soldic drops, but he's fine. And then it's like Kadestam's pouring it on, but you keep thinking in all these exchanges like, oh, Soldic is okay. Like, oh, he's up now. Oh, he's about to separate. Like, there was like 3 different moments where you were like, okay, he's getting out. And it just didn't happen. He fucking Kadestam smelled blood better than most people I've ever seen smell blood. He was all over Soldic. He did not let him out, and he got him. So what a fucking win. What an upset. What a statement. Everything totally ruins the plans of one for this massive signing in Soldic. I mean, he's 28, so there's plenty of time. It's not like he's not good. We know how good he is. And we saw what he did in round one, but shit can happen in MMA, and shit happened. And then, as Omar said, he drops the fucking quote of, "He tried to kill me. I'm still alive, baby. Send some other guy." Like, how fucking good is that
awesome.
quote? Oh, and then he says, "You can't kill me. I'm already dead." Like, I mean, the
Oh,
dude,
that's right. That's
what
right.
a moment. What a moment
Yeah,
for
man.
him. And he's been at the top of the heap before. He was the champ, I believe, back when Ben Askren became the champ. He used to be a welterweight. I think he's the man Askren actually beat for the belt, if I remember right, or defended, one way or the other. So he's been around and won, but he's lost some fights lately. He's took some fights at different weights, but man, fucking what a way to reintroduce yourself with a huge win.
Soldic basically lost to a guy that doesn't have a Wikipedia page. That's the totality of it there.
That's a good way to put it. It's fucking crazy.
Okay, one more recap, and then we will move on here. In the lightweight division of one fight night, Sage Northcutt gets it done over Ahmed. How do you say his last name?
Mujtaba.
Mujtaba by submission via heel hook at 39 seconds of round one. Mark, start us off.
Sage gets it done on the fucking mat. Heel hook under a minute. What a friggin' win from this man. I mean, you see the recap video of his injury and his surgery and him saying how he's got a big career left and all this, and you're like, all right, Sage, like, come on, let's see. And he comes out and he gets immediately caught by a jab and dropped and taken down. And you're just like, oh man, like, so much for that little video and feeling good. Like, this isn't going to go well, is it? And then boom, but before anything else happens, freaking heel hook, tap, Sage Northcutt, bounce back W. And it didn't even look like he had it, but he adjusted it beautifully, and it was over. So really impressive for him to pull that off the way he did.
Yeah, man. Omar?
Dude, you could see when he got that heel hook in that it started tweaking this man's knee. Like, if you go back and you watch that video, you could see everything starting to pull from the side of his knee, and it looked horrible. The finish was great. I'm glad that he's got that kind of reaction now on the ground. It seems like he's been doing a lot of work on the ground, but the striking concerns me, right? He had a lot of nice head kicks in there that were not really, hip turned over, going all the way through, almost like snapping little kicks that are just really meant for contact, and might have been using it to gauge distance or, just fill out the fight in the very beginning. But for somebody who I think has a striking background and is known for his striking and the flashiness and all that stuff, like, I want him to be a little bit more reliable in the striking. And I still, even after that fight, don't feel like we've gotten there. I love the addition of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu ground game. I think he's always had it, but it was one of those things where it probably wasn't at a high level. He probably didn't have a lot of confidence behind using it in a real competition setting. But it looks like he's been putting in a lot of the reps. He's been out for a while now. He's a lot more mature. I told you guys over text message, this kid doesn't smile anymore. He used to have the Alex Caceres approach in the octagon, right? Kid was smiling, having a great time. Fucking 20 years old. Everybody's got eyes on him. Looks like a baby Dolph Lundgren, a whole deal. Now, no more spikes. This man's combed over here.
Yeah.
He's fucking stone-faced murderer. He's totally different Sage Northcutt, man. Totally. Oh, I love it too. I think it's gonna go well for him, but we've got to see some better results out of his striking.
Yeah, man. All right, you guys want to touch briefly on the Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu matches from this one Fight Night 10?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
I'll just say one sentence if you want, and then I'll let you really get into it.
Go for it.
Rodtang is fucking silly, bro. I mean, he was lighting Sabaris up throughout, but just that read at the end to see the spin coming, step around to like the side front almost, and just say like, "Oh, hello, eat this elbow real quick." Fucking disgusting.
Yeah, dude. I think back to the seminar that I had with Rodtang a few weeks ago at this point. And there are a lot of things that he does that force him to be in the fire. And I don't want to use any of those techniques. Like, I don't want to be in there like that. Like, this man makes a career out of literally putting himself in the worst situation possible and then just firing elbows from there. And there were techniques he was trying to show us about stepping elbows and countering off of hooks and things like that. And every time I was throwing him, I'm like getting hit in the back of the head with a goddamn hook. And I'm like, this technique seems like bullshit, man. But like when you see him throw it and you see him do it, it's like super high level and he gets in there fast and he's able to like completely avoid the punches. And I think there are some things that just don't work for everybody from a technique standpoint. Guys have different body types and whatever else. And I really think the shit that he does, man, is so tailor-made for his body type and his approach to the game, because I don't think most people can do what he does in Muay Thai the way he does it. Beast.
Yeah. And then I'll shout out Muscemeci too. Like, that man is a relentless grappler. The dude that he fought literally just had to defend for 9 whole minutes. Like, I've never seen something that looked so unfun. Like, he didn't even get to try anything he wanted to try. He just was overwhelmed. And as soon as Muscemeci switched off the leg locks that he was hunting for the whole time and just, looked for a different route, he choked him out pretty quick.
So you guys probably don't watch Muscemeci a ton. There's a lot of grappling matches that have gone on in one.
First time I've
like
seen
that.
him, to be honest.
So his game is leg locks. That's like his thing.
Yeah.
And I remember him talking in the post fight, and he's like, I got to a point where I realized I might not be getting this leg lock here, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's just try some new shit. Let's just do something different. And you could see the moment he decided to stop messing around with the leg lock in there, that doors just opened up for him, and the kid is so disgusting. I can't express to you enough how good Mikey Musumeci is when it comes to the grappling. I almost wish he was bigger so that he could take on some of these like behemoths in the grappling world. Yeah. But that's what happens when you don't take roids. You stay small. So good on Mikey, bro. That performance was A+.
And he famously only eats like pizza and pasta.
I could see that.
But I
could see that.
Fucking ripped.
A true Italian American to the end.
That's right, my guy.
Where's he from? Do we know?
I think he's Italian. I don't know where.
No, I'm saying in like what state?
Oh, he's from Marlboro.
Where's Marlboro?
Mass?
Jersey.
Oh.
Jersey? Marlboro?
All right.
I mean, that tracks. I feel like that tracks.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, he's like a New York, Northeast kind of guy. New Jersey.
I feel like if I smelled New Jersey, I'd smell Marlboro. I feel like that makes sense.